All right, so good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's class. So we'll continue from last class. Class was all about according to the steps. I had to. Did you see the steps I added on the readme?
Yes.
Okay, so I think I'll just go back to the steps now. GitHub. Uh, Tax management system. Okay. Okay. So it's somewhere here. All right, it's somewhere here. So we have you can see my browser now, right?
Yes.
All right, so we did set up the project in our last class, then installed some required packages. So what we want to do is create the necessary models, right? So we'll create the models, then create the database context, these two. Then after doing that, we will now run migration for it. So this and see the update on the database, right? That's what we'll do today. So I'll just bring it here. All right. So we'll create the models, create database context, and run migration, update the database. So you see how everything is actually working. Okay. All right. Hope I can still be heard.
Yes. So,
All right. Then mind you, we'll be having our first night class tomorrow by 10. Yeah. Hope we didn't forget.
no, sir.
Okay. All right. You can see my Visual Studio. Can you see my Visual Studio?
Yes.
All right. Let me see what I think Sammy submitted. Let me see your branch. I can actually switch here. So this is your branch. This is what you did. So I can switch here, then see what you did.
I didn't do anything.
Okay. Eh?
I didn't do anything except from I just changed the git ignore files. Except from that, nothing else.
Okay. Why are we having these errors here? Build. Why are we having those errors? Okay. So it was just the models now. I told you guys to create us the models.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Uh,
I didn't do anything.
you didn't
So,
create model.
yes,
Eh,
I didn't do anything. I didn't know that we are told to create model. Oh, Kai.
ah. But you remembered now, that's what I said. I gave an example, like the project that I did, do same for maybe comment. Just let me see what you guys are doing, but it's fine. No wahala.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's
Okay, let me switch back now. So that error you might be encountering when you come back and you see some things you didn't work on. This dot slash dot vs so it is like a file path to all this. So whenever you have this dot vs, it means everything here under this folder should be ignored. It's not, you won't need it, so you don't need to push it. So how you go about that is you can right click on the folder, then ignore. If you don't see the ignore, you now go individually to ignore them. That is what I want to do. I have done that. So I've updated the git ignore. So I have to push to his branch, but I don't think I would do that since it's your branch. You can do that at your end.
no problem.
Mm. So I'm going to, all right, let me switch back to the main master branch. Discard. Yeah, sure. Okay, so we are in the master branch. So what we will do now is we'll create the user model first. Then after doing that, the next thing is to create the database context When I say database context, I'm talking about, like I explained in our last class, it's the gateway to the database. So we are going to set that up. It's a very simple template you can use in all of your projects. It doesn't change. It's just something you can just plug in and all that will write it. Then run migration and update the database. Okay. So let's create first user model. We'd make it plain. So the first one is the user. All right. Come here class, and we create the user class. All right. So we have the user class here. Make this public. Please, if you are confused at any point, you can stop me on. Okay. All right. This IntelliSense, I don't need it for now. Henry, you guys are not doing your review. Okay. Okay. So the first thing is the ID. Hope we are all aware of this. Int ID. Okay. Get set. Then secondly, let me just use secondly is the email. Email. Okay. Thirdly will be the password hash. Password hash. You can tell me why I'm using password hash instead of just password. Eh?
Because you don't want to know the user password.
Okay. Yeah. Marian, is that what you wanted to say?
Yes, you want to hash the password.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Then we have the account type. What did I say about this account type? Who can remember? Then, hmm? Who can, what did I say about this account type? What is it all about? The account type, what is it all about? Who can remember?
It's also the string.
Eh?
String now.
Yeah, what is the account type representing?
Okay, what's it representing? Task management. Task management is representing maybe the admin.
Okay, user and admin.
Yeah,
Yeah, the row.
yes, yes.
Okay, gender. All right. So there's a new concept now I will introduce us to, which has to do with which is enums. You've heard of enums. So an example of using an enum, let me just paint a scenario. This gender, right? Is it how what are the possible values of this gender? Like what are those possible values?
Male and female.
Male and female, right?
Yes.
Good. So there are some properties, right? There are some properties that, and there are some properties that are fixed, that they have a possible fixed value, right? And since they have a possible fixed value, there's how we try to rewrite it in order to avoid some kind of issues later on. So an example is, let's say we are using public string. gender now, and when you go to your console and you're trying to create this user, there's a possibility that you might be asking the user what gender are you, and the person is going to pass in M for male, while some other users might pass in MALE. Do you get?
Yeah.
Right? So
Yes.
that is because we have already used the data type string, and this data type string now is accepting any kind of output or so. So since we know the possible values of this gender, there's how we write it, which is this. Let me show you how to go about that. I can create multiple class. This is a class, right? I don't want to come and, but I don't expect you to do it. I can come here and create class here, or I can create all my classes here inside this file. But this is for learning purpose though. When you are doing your stuff, you don't have to create plenty classes in one file. Do you understand?
Also, let's create it differently now.
Okay. All right. That's fine. So I want to create another class, but this time around, I'll call it enums. Right. So this will be account type. So account type now, public enum. So enum has to do with you are sure of the possible values, right? So we know that the possible value of account type is what? Male, female, male and female, right? I'll show us a difference between this. I'll still do same. Let me shift
Is it
this.
account type or gender?
Sorry. Okay, this is sorry. Yeah, user uh, admin, right? So this is the account type. Now,
Okay.
by doing this, if you are creating an instance of this object user, you won't be allowed to, you are asking the user, or what type of user are you? You are kind of limiting the user to choose this or this instead of the user typing you. You know, some users can be funny. They know that U stands for user. So instead of typing it full, they just type you. It's just like male and female. Instead of typing um, male, M-A-L-E, they just type M. Do we all understand?
Yes.
So when we are very sure of the possible values, we try to create an enums, right, with all the possible values. So when you are creating this instance, you are forcing the consumer to use this or this, right? So let's do same for the user status. What are the possible values of user status? Who can remember? We have forgot. Okay, Samuel.
We have active, we have inactive, we have deleted or blocked, something like that.
Suspended.
Yes,
Suspended.
suspended. Yeah.
So values that will not change, like for example, this will not change, meaning it's not going to increase to another value. So whenever we have possible values that will not increase or reduce, we use enums to present that. Same thing with the user status. We would be having just 3 user status all throughout the life of the application. So we just go with enums. So I'll create another enum. call this user status. Same way, public. And so we have the active, active, inactive, suspended. All right. So we have this. Now, whenever you create a class, it comes with this. If you notice now, these are some libraries you are not actually using, but it's just showing here because the difference between this and this is more like this one is active, right? Why this one is inactive? It's not being used. Do we get? So it's,
Yes.
yeah, to make your code clean, you can just manually come here and clean it. Just manually come here and clean it. There's a short code for that. I won't tell you people, so you will not get confused. Yeah. Same here with this one. Just come here and clean it. Yeah. All right. So we have two now. We have account type and this. So since we have created the enum account type, instead of using string, what are we going to use? We are going to use account type, saying this account type has a data type of what? Account type. Do we get that? Because if I leave it as string, this is not actually referencing this. It's still having another data type string, right? Hello.
Hi, sir.
Ah, are we confused? Precious Steve, Marianne, Deligwe, Abdul.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm okay. Yeah.
All right. So this, and same thing with this user status. We change the data type to reference that, which is this. Okay. Now, same thing with gender, but we are not using gender for now. But if we are using gender, what do we need to do? It's the same flow. We create another enum. Let's just use gender. Public, which is what? Male. They say we have more than two genders. Don't know how true that is.
We are in Nigeria.
So it depends. Maybe the owner of the software might want you to add transgender, or maybe by whatever, or blah blah blah. You can go ahead to do that because. So this now, gender. So we have this. Now, this is the right time to explain this. I remember I said I'm going to talk about this later on. So this now, if you check all this squiggling line, this has it, this has it, this has it. So there's a meaning to it. So if you hover on it and you read the description, it says non-nullable property email must contain a non-null value when exiting constructor. Consider adding the required modifier or declaring the property as nullable. So what this is saying is that whenever you see this squiggling line, it means this user, there's a possibility of creating this user, and it's going to have what? Email as null, meaning whenever you are creating the user, there's a possibility that email will be null. So it's more like the ID is warning you that you should treat this to force the user to enter the email value when creating this user. Do we get that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Abdul, do you understand? Deligwe, Marian, Precious, Steve, do we understand that the gift?
To understand.
I joined late. I'm just trying to follow up.
This late coming. I go flog now.
Sorry, sir.
Nah. If I go back to explain, you will still come late again. That's your punishment. Yes. Yeah.
I will not do it again, sir.
Marian, go ahead.
So the enum class, like, is it the normal way we used to create classes?
Class. Yeah, but this time around, we just replace that class with enum. Difference between this enum and the normal class is that the class now, class is now what makes a file a class is the constructor properties and all, right? But for the enums, is you are filling the possible values for that enum. That's what it is essentially doing. Right?
Okay, so
Yeah. Yep. So we have this now. Now, I want to force when creating the user. Okay, Deligwe, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Deligwe. Yeah, I can hear you.
So I want to know the folder structure of where you place these enums. Do you place them in one folder separate, or
You can, yeah, that's what you have an object or a class, right? This is how I do mine. Right, this is how I do mine. You have user that is having 2 extra files, which is maybe gender, account type, user status. So whenever if an entity is having 3 additional files, what I do is I create a folder to just put everything. This is what I would do. Maybe it was me. I'll create a folder, call it user management. Because the new name conflicts with an existing. It seems I'm having another conflicting name. Let me go and delete it first. I'm coming. User management. From where do I have that? Okay, let me delete it. It's here. All right. So I'm going to Deligwe, you are still raising your hand. All right. So I have this. Then since this 3 is still dependent, I just put everything here. Put everything here. Put everything here. Put everything here. The decision is the same as source. Okay. Put everything here. Then put everything here. All right. Put everything here. So you see now, I just have user management because in the folder, because user is having some other files. Do you get? Do you understand? So if I'm
yes?
creating the project class, I'm coming Samuel. If I'm creating the project class now, it's going to be outside because it's not for user management, except maybe the project has extra files, then I just create a folder for it. All right, Samuel, go ahead.
For the explanation. I just want to ask, okay, or personally, why can't we look for separation of concern that in that class aspect? Can we just deliberate as can we separate folder for enum separate?
You
folder
can do
for
that. It's fine. You can do
entity?
that. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, sure. It's fine. You can do that. Yeah,
no
you can
problem.
do that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So I have this. Now I want to force the user to always fill in the email when creating this user. Because by leaving it like this, it means the email, there's a possibility that when you are creating this user, email will be null. So how do we force the user to have to fill in the email when creating the user? We just equate that to the keyword called default. So what this does is whenever we have a default keyword, it's more like saying you are creating the user, you must give this email a value. That's what is necessary. That's what this means. Do you get? Yeah, Samuel.
Sorry, I'll be asking the most questions.
No wahala.
Yeah. You just mentioned this right now because I've been seeing this, like I've been seeing it for a very long time, but I've been thinking it's another thing entirely, that maybe it's taking like a default value, because I do know that there's not another way, another word.
There's another way, yes.
Required. It is required keyword.
There's required, yeah, there's another
What's the
one
difference
too.
between these two? Required and this one?
Sorry?
What's the difference between using that required keyword and using this one that we have here?
Okay, so now the default is more like, for example, now, what is the default value of a string? What's the default value of a string? Is what is null, right? Empty string, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. So whenever you create a user object and you do not pass in the value for email, what happens now? Automatically, since you have given this keyword default, it means you are saying C# assign the default value of this data type to this email, which is what that empty string. Do you get? Then for ID, what is the default value for integer? It is 0, right? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Sammy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
What's the default value for int? It's 0. So
0.
if I put default here, it means if I'm creating this user and I don't pass in ID for this user, automatically C# will assign 0 to this ID because you have said this as default.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get?
Yes, yes.
Now, if I use required is saying, how do I write the required? Let me do the write the required here. Okay, you notice I've written the required and it went off. Required is saying, when creating this user, it is a must to also give it, like explicitly give the user a password hash, meaning it doesn't come with a default value. You must give a value for this password hash.
Yeah.
Do you get the difference now?
Yes.
Yeah. Same
Yes.
thing with this one. You must give it. Same thing with this one. You must give it. Yeah, if I use required, but if I use just default, it means even if I don't give, C# will give the default value based on the data type.
Yeah.
Do you get it now?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Because I do see this default very well. So I was like, okay, why are they using this one more instead of
Okay.
using that
Okay.
required? Yeah. Thank
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Sure. The gift. Go ahead.
It's concerning the default and the password hash. That's what I wanted to ask, yeah.
It's clear now, right?
No.
Okay. How do I do this now? I think I would need a practical aspect of this.
So I have
All
a
right, let's do
question.
it. All right, go ahead.
Okay, my question is, what of the one they used to add question mark? What
I'm
does
coming
it
to
do?
that. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
coming to
okay.
that.
Okay, sir.
All right. Yeah, I'm coming to that. Yep. So there's a third way, the required defaults or this. It means by putting this question mark, it means this is not nullable. It means when creating this, it's expecting a value. Yeah. Right? That's why if you notice I put it and that error stuff is gone. So me, I'm used to the default and the required. No. Yeah. So what I would do now because of a day gift, I want to okay, Deligwe, your hand is up. I think I
Yeah,
will just
so
create
it's
another.
it's still in line with the whole
Okay,
optional stuff. So
okay.
this default, you said you pointed out that if the user did not put anything, it will impute a default value with
Yeah, which
respect
is
to
empty
its data
string,
type.
the data type. Yeah.
So as this class now is a model, if it's empty string, does that mean like it will save empty
Empty
string
string for the email.
on the
Yes.
data?
For the
Okay.
email, yes.
Then required will not even allow
You won't allow you.
the
Don't worry, let's try that out first. Yeah.
then lastly,
Think,
sorry, the
okay.
question mark, I think that one is optional. It means if you not put anything,
It will still
it will
allow.
save
Yes.
null. Yeah, it will save null on
Yes,
the database.
yes. Okay, yes. That's true. Thank you for that. Yeah. All right. So let's try it out. Let's try it out. And the null actually is to another reason is just to remove these warnings. Yeah. Telling C# that there's a possibility that don't give a default value for this password hash. Just let it be null. Do you get that now? Okay.
So
Yes,
I have
there's
a
a question that she
question.
asked. That question
Mm.
mark, what does that one mean? Like,
Don't worry,
that's the question that she
don't
asked.
worry. Yeah,
I have a
let's
question
do a
also.
practice now. I want to create another um
So I have
let's
a
yeah,
question.
go ahead.
Okay, with this,
Questions today. Gang.
it shows that we are active today.
Sure.
Okay, so with the green lines, will your code still run?
It will still run. Yes, but those green lights is more like it's warnings, meaning you won't have issues now, but you would have issues in the future when you run it and something triggers that issue. So it's like warning you of future errors. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So let me open another um project and explain that first in a GP. I'm coming. Right. Okay. Okay. No, I don't have this API, not this API. Hold on, I'm coming, guys. Docs 5, Web 2. All right, let's see the Web 2. I'm coming. Why is this thing showing controller now? Hold on. Trying to create another console project. Funny enough, I can actually still use this. Yep, I can still use this. Yeah, let me do this now. Come here, new project, and I'll call this console. Yep. Let me just say test. Yep, yep. One or generator project content may be incomplete. Maybe incomplete. Yeah, it's fine. Thank you. All right.
Are you writing the console inside the API?
No, it's another project of it on its own. I'm trying to, then I would switch. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
Not doing everything, I'll just switch. Sorry about the noise. Coming. Okay, it seems it won't work that way. No, it's not going to work that way. Let me create another project. Yes. Like make noise. All right. Test. I give it test. I'm coming.
Severity of attaching success. But the default is if this is just a fallback option based on.
All right.
It states that it's coming that it's not off.
All right. Can you see my screen? The new project. Can you see it?
We are saying the Git.
GitHub, we are saying GitHub.
Can you see this now?
Not yet. Yes.
Okay, sorry.
But it's still the one that we are looking
Don't
at.
worry. Yeah. How about now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let's do this now. Let me copy this. Let me do like Odiligwe creating his class in the program. Let me
Hey,
do
you're calling me again. Oh, it's not me.
He said
Oh,
he's not the
It's not
one.
me. No,
sorry.
Believe you have suffered. Sorry.
I'm
Hey, it's
telling
part of
you.
learning, Sha.
Okay. User status.
But still on that topic, so
Yeah,
we are not allowed to create a class in the
it's allowed
program.cs.
though, but it makes
But,
your code very, very dirty.
okay, because I know I used to see like the old C# where you have the
Yeah,
main
but it
void,
makes your
whatever.
code very dirty, except you want to just do for testing, like what I want to do now.
Okay.
Yeah. So now I want to create an instance of this user, right? User one equals to new um, um, wait, equal to
New.
wait, where is trying to, okay. What, the top level. Okay.
Yeah,
Should it be at the
namespace.
top? Yeah, it's saying it should be at the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I have this instance of the user, right? Okay. Let me just remove this. Let me start with the required. Then this one I'll use required. So assuming I do that, now I notice now there is an error. Let me remove, okay, the gift.
So my question is, why putting the required before the string?
So it should be after the string.
So I don't know. I'm just asking because this is my first time saying required before the string.
Okay. So All right. If you recall, I said when I was talking about this, what this squiggling lines, what does it mean to you?
Oh,
What's the meaning?
is it the green line?
Yes.
Okay, with your explanation, you said that it's just warning that showing that it's going to have error maybe in the future.
What kind of
But
error?
oh no.
You were not following up. Okay. So it's going to have nullable error. It means there's a possibility of creating this user, but password hash will be null. That's if the user does not assign a value for password hash. All right?
Okay, sir.
Same thing with the first name, the last name, and all. But now I want to force the user, right? Let me remove this first. I want the scenario whereby when you create the user must pass in values for email, pass in value for password hash, pass in value for first name and last name. They must pass in the value for that. You might want to ask, why is it that this is not throwing error? Why is it that this is not throwing error? Why is it that this is not throwing error? Who can try? Who can tell me why?
Because there is no this thing required
Wrong.
eh?
I didn't use
Why?
required here. I didn't use required. I
Okay.
didn't use required. I'm
Okay,
having warnings. I didn't use required. I'm supposed to have warnings.
okay,
Yeah,
so
so
you're
I
saying
am not.
somebody wants to say anything. Can somebody as well?
Go ahead, nah, Ede.
Sir, okay. I was asking, why is it that nothing like for like your question is why is it that
This is
the
showing the warnings,
a
and
warning
this is
and
not showing warnings.
a
It's not
warning?
showing.
I don't know.
Don't worry. Yeah, we'll know why. Who wants to try?
Okay, should I try?
Yeah.
Okay, Telegram wants to try.
Okay, Deligwe.
Okay, so let me try. um, so it's not showing the warning, unlike others, because account type is an enum, and even though you not put any value, it will take, I think, the first value.
Exactly. Yeah, it's going to take for this gender now. If you don't assign, it's going to take when you create this user by default, it takes the first index. Same thing with this one, it takes the first value. Same thing here, it takes the first value. Do we all understand?
Yes, so
Okay. So this now, let's start with required. We are using required to force the user, right? Let me comment this out first. Let me comment this out. So by using required, I'm saying when you are creating an instance of this user, if I use required here, it's saying you must set value for email. That's the meaning of this. When creating the user, you must set the value for email. You can't create a user without email. That's what this means. You get it?
yes, sir.
Great. Ede gift, do we get it?
So what do you say? Sorry, I
Ah,
missed out.
what were you doing?
So my mic was my earpiece just fall out from my ear.
Ah, okay. This will be the last time I'm explaining this.
Sorry, sir.
So I'm saying, what does this query line, what is it warning you about? Hmm?
Okay, he's warning me about this in the green line is just warning me of the honorable
Okay, it's
require.
warning you that when you are creating a user, there's a possibility that if you don't assign a value for email, it is going to be null.
Yes.
That's that's the meaning of this. Now, I am the programmer. right? How it works is you are asked to write the program that when creating a user, the user must pass in value for email, right? How do you tell the person creating the user that is compulsory to pass in the value for email? One way to do that is by using the required keyword. So by doing this, if you are creating the instance of this user and you don't pass in email for this user, C# would flag. Do you get that now?
Yes, sir. I get it.
Great. So now if I uncomment this now, I'm having error. This is me creating the instance of this user, but I'm having error. And what is that error? Required member user.email must be set in the object initializer or attribute constructor. So this is just saying you must give what value for email for that user. Do we get that?
Sir.
Great. So how do we do that? User one dot email equal to let me see. I think we just use the object initializer. All right. So email equal to and let me just set other values first, and you see we still have that email. So I'm creating the instance and I'm passing in the first name as what Ede. Then I'm still having this error saying I must set what email for this user, or else this error will still be there. So if I should set the email, you notice that that error will go. So this is me forcing the person creating this user object to pass in value for email. Will we get that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But if I put now, you notice I didn't put last name here. That's
Yes.
because it's possibility that it's going to be none, right? Okay, let's do
Yes.
something. Let's do this. Console dot.
Okay.
Why am I doing log?
So that's why this thing just like
Right line. Let's see. User details. That should be user one dot first name. No, last name. Let's use last name. Let's see the value for the last name now. What will it be? So if I should run this now, if I run this, I will get, let me come here. Let me share this other screen. If I come here, I will get this. What can you see here? Sorry about the noise. What can you
details.
see? User details is
No.
nothing.
No. Yes.
That is because this warning is telling you that when you are creating the user, there's a possibility that last name will be null, which is what we are saying. And that is a very bad, like when you are creating the user, it's okay, it's not actually bad because you can actually create the user and maybe go back to settings to set your last name. Yeah, which is okay. So in that case, I don't think you need to put required here because it's a possibility of creating a user without last name. But you can't create a user without email, right?
Yes, sir.
It's important. Email is a very important property that must exist for that user. Okay.
Yes,
But
sir.
for explanation purpose, let's assume last name is important, like important. What do? I make it required. And by doing that, it's going to flag error telling me that last name is required. You must pass in value for last name, which is what we want to do. That's the meaning of that required,
Okay.
right?
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Are we
sir.
good?
Yes, sir.
Great. Now, default, right? Default is this. I've not assigned value for this, but if I go on to say default, right? If I go on to say default, if I go on to say default, it means it's saying take, let me do this one too. Default. If I don't assign value for ID, ID is going to be 0 by default. Let's see that. Username dot ID. Then user details ID. Then user password. So let's see the outcome of these two. I should run this one. What do you see now?
It's 0 and no.
Empty.
will
This is
not
empty
see.
string. This is actually empty string, but you
Empty
won't
string.
see it there. Are we following now?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Great. So the default, if you don't give it value, C# would assign the default value based on the data type here. Right?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Now the final one is let me remove this one and use, if I use this question mark, this is nullable. So this is saying, well, last name can contain null or value, right? A value, and it's going to be null. And it's to more like to there's a word for it, to compress. I've forgotten this word. To suppress this one in here and make it go. Telling C# that, yeah, I know what I'm doing, that kind of thing.
Okay, so does it mean that it will not be required?
Hmm?
Does it mean that
It's
it will not
it's
be
not
required?
required. Yeah, by doing
Okay,
this,
it's
it's
just
not
to
required. Yeah.
remove the.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's
Okay.
another reason why I do that. Right?
Because okay, sir, but it's not going to cause any issue like flag any error
First, you
by using
can't
that
use
question.
this no. You can't use this no here. It won't
Okay.
make sense because I mean you can't create this doesn't make sense, right? You
Okay.
can't create
Yes.
a user with no email,
Okay.
but you can actually create a user without a first name. Because I know most application when you are registering, they require your word, maybe email, password, stuff like that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Mhm. So is that clear now?
Yes.
Okay, let's go back to our web API. All right, so that is that for it. For first name, I want to give it, let C# give the default, right? Then same thing with this, same thing with this. All right, let's test out these enums. So we see it's not just by mouth. All right, let's test out the enums. Account type, user status. Let's test it out. If I run this, I get what? User, which is the first user, then active, which is the first value it takes by default, right?
Yes.
Great. Okay. All right. Cool. So let's proceed now to the other one. Okay. So where was I? Then if you want to assign, let's say you have given this, you want to assign the account type for that user. Let me go back there. This is it. Yeah, if you want to assign the account type for this particular user, account type equal to, at the beginning it was string. We just use this as string. And this now you can pass in any value, maybe account type. Instead of typing user, someone would use user. Someone else is going to use capital letter U. Someone might use only U to present user. So with that enum now, all right, delegate.
Sorry, what did the question mark print out? I don't know if I skipped that or something.
You mean this
Like if
question
you
mark?
something like first name, if you print it out like that,
Okay, all right.
what's
Okay, let me just finish this one. We'll test that one out first. Okay, so for account type, we want to pass in the value, just account type, calling the class dot username or user. So by doing this now, you are telling the user you must use the value that is inside C#. You are not supposed to give us your own value, but the one we have recorded and saved, right?
Yes, sir.
So for the person that, okay, for first name, let me remove this first name and type in first name. First name, user details, first name. All right. All right. So if I run this now, this is what I get. Still no. Right?
Yes.
Great. Delegate, are we good?
yeah.
Okay, all right. Thanks. All right, boy. Okay, seems we no go fit finish this class today. All right, let's continue. Let me clean this up. Now we have this basic properties user. Now what we need to do after creating this model, we have to create our DB context, which is the gateway to the database, and that's what we want to do now. Okay, so how I do is now, for those who are familiar with GitHub, you create your models and all, you commit the change. This is where you come here and commit your change. This was just a test stuff. So let me remove that first folder. So did I make changes to the, okay, I created project. Let me remove that. So this is the user management, right? So I just stage this, then give it a commit message. That user model, then you commit it. That's for that, right? You go ahead to create the database context. All right, which will be here, persistence layer. So I'm going to do that there. So there's a name for it. When creating a database context, we give it the application name, which is tax management, then DB context. That's how we go about it. So if the name of your application is school management, it's going to be school management database DB context. Okay. That's, have you sent this stuff? Tax management DB context. Yep. Tax management DB context. Make this public. All right. So this is what we have here. Like I said, remove this, or the shortcut is Control K, Control E, which goes up. Control K, Control E. All right. Now, tax management DB context will inherit from the parent. We installed a package called, we installed the package called Entity Framework Core, right? Which came with DB context. Now I want to inherit from the parent class. I want to inherit from the parent class called DB context. But if you check now, you notice that this is the package. All right, this is the package we installed on Tuesday. What we want to use is the entity framework. There's what we call DB context in the entity framework core that helps us to manage and structure how it's going to connect to the database and all. That's what we want to do now. So we have created a class which will inherit from the parent class DB context. Yeah. DB context. So this is the parent class. You can decide to read everything you want to. You can hover on it and read the documentations. So if you check this, a DB context instead represents a section with a database and can be used to query and save. So in essence, this helps us to communicate with the database. This is what we are doing, right? Great. Hope we are following.
Understood.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, a constructor. This is a constructor, CTOR, if you want to shortcut for creating a constructor. Okay, so this constructor now will take in the DB, there's what we call DB context option. DB context option, right? Let me inherit from that DB context option. So this DB context option is all these are the template, or we are trying to configure our tax management DB context to communicate with the database. So this is what we are trying to do. So DB context option. Now we have to tell it what DB context are we trying to structure. What's DB context? It's a generic actually. So we want to tell DB context that this DB context option is of type tax management DB context. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. The beauty of this is whatever project you are working on, this doesn't change. Yeah, you can always use this for all of your like connecting. You can just come here, get the necessary template and plug it in your other project, right? It's very straightforward. So what will change may be the name of your project, but everything else is the same, right?
Yes, sir.
Great. So the name of this DB context is this. I'll just
That's my
copy it
context.
and paste it of type this, right? Then give it the options. Options. Let me stuff is not except missing out something. Okay. So let's all right. So we have this tax management DB context options. Yeah, it is options, not options. Let's check what is inside here. All right, the options to be used by a DB context. You normally override the whatever. So this is the option that you want to use with the DB context, right? Okay. And because this is inheriting, if you remember when we talked about class inheritance, for example, you have animal class, then dog class. So the animal has maybe first name, last name, and the dog class is inheriting, and the animal class has a constructor that is taking one parameter, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Great. So when the child class inherits from that parent class, it means they have to inherit the constructor with that same parameter. Do we get that?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
So this DB context now is, let's check it first. Let's see if we can enter into it. I'm trying to right click. Okay. All these are for you to just go and read off, check the documentation, right? So how I do it is, if I'm not familiar with I've installed the package, so I'm not familiar with some models, some classes, I just need to go into the documentation. You right click, or if it's not working, you just press your F12, your keyboard F12, it will take you into the file itself, where you see what was done, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So this is and because it's inheriting from DB context, we want to say when you are creating an instance of this, whatever that is passed here would be assigned to the base, mm, to this base of what? The parent class, the DB context. Remember when I explained constructor and when you were having first name, last name, and because this class is inheriting from animal, the first name, last name, when you are creating the constructor, will take the same parameter of the parent, right? So if I have maybe another parameter here, maybe param 10, it means this is going to take another parameter 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
That, don't worry. See, it's okay. Like, it's okay if you are confused. All this thing is practice. Like, I would explain this, then you just go ahead and try it out, test it out. That's how I learned to just test it out for yourself. This template you use for most of your projects. We are trying to connect our models to the database. That's what we are trying to do here. It's very straightforward. Hmm?
Okay, sir.
The reason you are doing is because you are still
It's because I'm
struggling with
just
the
saying
constructor.
these ones.
Yes, you are still
I'm just saying
struggling with the
this.
constructor, because I know I explained it that time I was explaining constructors. All right. So that's that for it. All these are in the documentation. If you check the most packages you install, right? You read the documentation, you see how it was set up. Yeah, you just need to understand the flow and plug it into your project. Okay,
Okay, sir.
right. Now, we know we'll be using migration. We'll be calling add migrations to tie the models or entities to the database. And because we'll be running migration, there's a method called on model creating. Let me write that on model creating. Um, Override. Have I explained override in this class?
So is it in this place? We are writing it now.
Will be override
Override.
virtual.
Yeah. Override and virtual. What's the difference? Yeah, what's the difference? Virtual override. I know
Okay.
I explained
Like
it.
you mentioned in the class the other time, you make use of the method. Let me remember the method name. Okay, if I don't remember the name, but let me just explain. Okay, override is like, okay, when a class have a method that for that method another classes that will be inheriting that class might also have that method, but in a different form. I have remembered now. The method called sound for animal class.
Okay.
Dog has a different sound, that is the bark, while cat meows. So when the cat is inheriting the class animal, and when it comes to the place of the method sound, at the method of animal, we have what is called virtual sound, because it is telling what that virtual is saying, that see, this sound can be different from every other animals. So allow this sound to take the shape of any class that is inheriting it. So when cat is inheriting a class animal, so it can override the sound that, okay, for this class cat, I can override my sound to be meow. Why for dog? When dog is inheriting the class animal, it says for this class dog, my sound is what? Is woof, is barking, that is woof. So the virtual and override help us to do what? Help us to override methods in to conform with every class that it belongs to.
Thank you very much. I know Edegit will still be confused. Edegit, you remember I talked about this override, virtual override. She?
Yes, yes.
Great. So, like I said, if you don't understand, or maybe, okay, Deligwe, go ahead.
Sorry, I want to ask a question. So, what's the difference between the virtual override and the abstract
I just not
override?
say you go talk abstract.
See, now it's not me that is confused.
Now you want to confuse these people. Abstract is like saying you must have an implementation, right? When you are creating the method, it means there must be an implementation for that method. You are making it as abstract, right? I've just done another
Okay.
example now. You know what?
So, okay, yeah. So, abstract is that you must override it,
There's an
but virtual,
implementation.
you can choose to.
Yes, you must. Well, that one is another concept on its own. Oh. That's why I try to just take it one step, not to, if there is need to use abstract classes, that's when I'm going to explain what abstract is and what abstract is not, and oh, and this is a beginner's class, right? Maybe after now we can have our own class where we now do some testing and all, right?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
are mentioning this on modern creating.
Sorry?
I said you
Yes,
are
yes, yes.
mentioning
Yeah,
modern.
this is a method. This is the method from the DB context called on model creating. So what this is doing is when you run migration, it comes here and creates and ties the model, the user model, to the database. It ties the user model and the different properties. It set them all to the database. That's what this method is trying to do, right? So this is saying based on model creating, create the model builder, like create the connection between the entities, the models to the database. This is what this is doing actually, right?
When you are typing it, you just type override on modern creating,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yes, I just did that. It came up like override, then the model. There are other virtual, look at now, there are other virtual method. This one you see star. This star now,
Yeah.
it's telling you that that's a virtual, or this
Yeah.
is a virtual. Yeah. So I want to override this. So once I just click enter, it comes with the template. This can be configured further, but for now, we are trying to keep it simple, right? We're trying to keep it simple. So we just go with this for now.
Okay.
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 Yep. After doing this, the final one is, well, who remembers what I said about DB sets?
DB set. If maybe I will not use word for word though, but what I came to realize about DB set is that you are telling this like you are telling the system to recognize a particular entity to set it into the database.
Okay. All right. Yeah, thank you. So DB set now is a table, right? Like you remember in our last slide, I said every entity you create, right? Every class you create is like a table in the database, right?
Mhm.
Now we want to create a table in the database, and how do we do that? We do that by just calling the DB set for each of those models that would be a table that would have different properties, right? Like the first name, last name, password hash, and all. So how do we write that? So public db set. So db set's a generic of what type, which is the user.
So
Okay. So add reference. Okay. So whenever you type the model and it's showing this red line, it's saying that if you check it now, it's saying name username. Okay, name user does not exist in the current context, like you have not imported it, right? So one way to go about that, if you don't want to type it manually, just control dot. Once you click your control and your dot, it will tell you you need to add reference to that domain or that project, which is this. So you double click and it adds the reference using tax management, user management stuff. Then users. I'm giving it users because who can tell me why? Instead of user, I gave it users.
Because it's not taking only one user, it's taking
Exactly. Yep. Because in your, don't worry, when we'll go to the database, I think we will do everything today. Don't worry. See how everything is playing out. So then your normal, like your normal property. Yeah.
set.
This is all we need to do for this user. So if I have property, if I have project class, I'll have to come here and add table for the project. Do we all get that?
Yes, sir.
Great. So that will be your assignment this week. You go and you create a branch, then the same thing I've explained, you follow the same flow, create the other models, right? Then run migration, which I will show you how to do that. Then update the database, create your own database. Everything we'll do that today. Yeah.
Okay. I want to ask a question. Aside from just saying that this is a collection of users, if we try to
Yes.
put in user, there won't be like a naming convention, naming problem because we already have user and user.
We put user, it will still work.
Okay.
But the table now, like plural, now it's a table that has
Yes.
more than one
User.
value. Yeah, more
Okay.
than one user. That's why it's a convention. So if you're
Okay.
having projects, it's going to be projects plural.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
Understood now.
All right. So we have done this. We have done this. Next thing now is let's try this out. Okay. This is where we might be asking where are we going to run our migration is in this package manager console. So this is where we'll be running the migration. And yeah, everyone makes this mistake. But let's try it out. So the first command you would need to write is, let me come here and write it down.
CSRC. Sorry.
You can migration. You can see my browser, right?
Yep.
Right. So the first one is add migration. So it's going to prompt you for the name of the migration you want to add. This is to add the migration. Then second one is
Database.
remove migration. Maybe you made a mistake and you want to revert. Yeah. Remove the migration. Then after add, let's say assuming you didn't make the mistake, after add migration, the next thing you do is you need to update the database to take that latest migrations you have added.
Okay, but if you make mistake, you remove the migration.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Then assuming you have 5 migrations, right? And you made mistake in the fourth and the fifth, you'll be running
Yes.
migration, you'll be running remove migration twice. Because remove migration, remove the last one. Then if you want to remove twice, it means you are saying you want to remove the 2 Hope I'm not confusing you.
Like the
Um,
last two.
The
right,
last
so
two means you have to
okay.
remove migration twice. If you want to
Okay.
remove the last 3, it means you have to remove migration 3 times.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So once you update, you see. So let's proceed. Now I want to run the first one. Add migration. So once I do that, I enter. It's telling me to give it a name. What name of the migration will I give this? So I can say
User.
initial, maybe okay.
For migration.
Okay, yeah, because I don't want to talk about that one for now. First, let me just keep it simple. User migration. All right. So once I click, I press my enter. It's going to tell me it's running, it's loading. I hope I can finish this class today. Build succeeded. Build succeeded. Build succeeded. Why are you still loading? All right. So no DB context was found in assembly task management.api. I know everybody, like most programmers, when they are starting out their C# career, this is the first mistake in task management.api. Ensure that you are using the correct assembly and that the type is neither abstract or generic. So what this is saying, if you check here now, the default project now is this is targeting this assembly or project, is targeting this task management.api. This is where it's targeting this. And the DB context we created is
Is
not here.
local.
It is in this task management.persistence, right? Do we get that? This is where we
Yes, sir.
created.
Yes.
So by default, it's targeting that other project. So we need to change it to what? Task management.persistence. Okay,
Yes.
good. So if you want to go back to your previous command, you press your up key, it takes you back instead of typing it out again. So you press enter and user migration. So let's see, unable to create a database of type. This is the section unable to resolve service for type. Microsoft, this. So this is saying that now we are using the DB content. We need to register it. I made mention of for everything you do or everything you use in your project, you must register it in your program.cs. So we need to
Yes.
register that here, else it's not going to work, right?
Yes.
And for us to register it, and because we'll be using SQL, we'll use SQL Server. We need to create, first of all, let's create our database. Let's create our database first. So let me show you how to do that. This, you might not see this initially, right? We have SQL Server Object Explorer. But if you can't see this at your end, you come to view, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you come to view, then scroll down to SQL Server Object Explorer. Then you click on it. We want to create a database, right? Okay. Then SQL Server. Yep. Then the local DB, this is the first one. You choose the first one. Mine might be different from yours because we have different address now. So this is mine, which will be different from yours, but it's still the local DB you select. And then you click on database. So this is the database. This is where you would create your different database. Like this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 database. So if I want to create a new database, I just right click on this folder databases, right click, and you see add new database. Are we all following?
Yes.
Okay. So I gave it the
So,
name. All right, go ahead.
okay, so you can from here create your database or open your database from here, from the
You
Visual
can
Studio.
do that. Yeah, you can do that. Or if you have Microsoft Server application, you can just go there. But when you installed Visual Studio, it came with the SQL Server inside.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've never opened
So
it
you
from
can
here.
do everything here. SQL Server Object Explorer. Yep. Okay, so tax management DB. Tax management DB. I have another one. So let me just give it 3, because I have previous stuff I'm doing for testing. Okay, that's why I'm giving it DB3. Yeah, but this is bad naming because of these 3. So take note. All right, so tax management DB3. So I click on OK, and I've created it. Now it doesn't end there. You have created it, but we need to connect it to our code. We need to connect it. That's the next thing we need to do, and that's what we want to do now. The process is plenty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Maybe let me try and do something first. Okay. So set up the project, install required packages, create the models, create DB context, right? All these
Inside
ones
that
was
creativity
testing.
contest, we have
Yeah.
3 steps.
So it's going to be more of create the database, create the database. Then after creating the database, register the DB context in your program.cs. Yeah, so let's do this. We have done this one, so let's do this other one. Let's try and do this other one. Okay. Ooh. All right. Bam, 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 bam. All right. So now we want to connect them now. We have okay. So we have builder.services. So the next one is calling, we want to register the DB context. Builder.services dot add DB, add DB context, right? Add DB context. But it's not showing us. We need to import it from somewhere. Let me control click now. But I'm not, the DB context is not here. Actually, it's not here. But let me just finish everything out. Maybe by finishing everything, it automatically import because if you come here now, that DB context is used here. We only
Okay.
store the
Project
packages.
reference.
Yeah, but we don't have that. Yeah, we don't have that here.
Yeah, project reference.
Yeah, we don't have that. That's why it's not showing. But let's finish writing everything out. Then we'll see if C# would get it from here directly. If it doesn't, no, that's a current popular issue. Then we'll have to install it for here too.
Yeah, it won't. I think I've seen that before.
Okay, so add DB context, then of type what? What is this of type what? Which is your
Yes, sir.
tax management context, which is this one. So we need to import this now. Okay, this one works. I want to import this class because I'm using this class here. So I'm importing it here. Alpha. So it's telling me to add reference. Alpha. So it's telling me to add reference for
Okay.
this project. So I just click on it. It does that, right? Now, I have to pass in the options the same way I'm registering this in my program.cs. So it's the same flow. So I'm going to use Lambda. This action now, that's another concept on its own, right? But I'm going to try and explain what I want to do. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to register this DB context and connect it to a database provider, right? Are we
Okay.
all following? Yeah. So I'm going to call in options. Then this is a lambda, like I want to access the properties or the members of this DB context. And how do I do that? I make use of lambda, then calling this is like saying, first of all, you create a variable that will enable you access the database context members, right? You create the variable, then this symbol is saying use this same variable to access the various members of the database context. That's what it means. I know I've not talked about lambda expressions and all, but I'm just giving a brief overview of what it's trying to do. Okay. With time, you would understand this just because of time. Right? The gift. I know you might be
So,
confused with this
yes.
one. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Yes.
Mm.
All right. So options dot what I want to use is now is the making use of use SQL use
Is it SQL Server?
yes use SQL. This is it. Yeah, this is what I want to use. Use SQL Server. There is light. I think there's SQL. Did we? Okay, we didn't
So we
install.
are using SQL.
Okay. Do you know why this worked? Like, on the norm, I can actually install. I don't have packages for entity framework, right? But I'm still
Yes.
able to access the database context
Why?
because indirectly, once I import this file, this
Yes.
project type, this assembly in my program, automatically it's going to indirectly import those dependencies, those packages I was installed for that,
Okay.
right?
But yes.
Which is this now? I'm importing what? Management, this
Yes.
project now, tax management.persistent because of this stuff. Now I'm bringing it here. And by doing that, indirectly, it comes with these packages. So I don't need to download this again in my tax management.api,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Okay. But sometimes C# can be funny. So you just If you encounter that, then you just manually
install
install
it.
it and use SQL Server. SQL Server. Okay. Now I have to import control dot to import it. Then the use SQL Server is taking what? It's taking in, if you check now, it's taking in it needs to connect to the database you created. You need to connect
Yes.
it to the database you created. And this is where we would put the connection here. We would put the address or the location of that database. And let's go to the database to try and extract the address, or they call it connection string. Yeah, connection
Yeah,
string.
I want to add connection
The
string. Like, is it
yes.
not going to be in the app setting?
You are faster than your shadow. Yeah, there's a reason for the app setting, Sha. Yeah, I just want to start with this so that we all see why we need to use that app setting. I want to do everything here
Okay, sir.
first. Hmm?
Oh,
Now you even know app setting, no? Nice one, nice one.
I've seen it, so I don't know. I don't.
Okay, oh. All right, properties. So sometimes this is always messy. So I have to put this. So there are times when you want to get the connection to the way to do it, you right click and you come to property. You see it there. This is where it is. You scroll up to where it is. So initially it didn't come up, right? So what I do is I just trigger this down, then right click again. So it's going to show that. So this is what I want, this part. So Control A to copy, then paste it here. Yep, paste it here. It's bad practice anyways, but we are just doing it for learning.
Because I actually want to ask that.
So do the good practice
Say,
now.
No,
for
no. You. I could allow you to try it out now. Just you can. I'm not going to do that absent. Let me just leave that for you to research. It's
app
not that
settings.
hard. It's not hard. That will be
Okay.
part of your assignment. So your part of
But,
your
but you're
assignment
saying this
is.
one is bad practice, so
I want you to research, yes, how to create the connection string, then use app setting to store all this. Yeah. So what you'll be doing is you call the variable name connection string instead of having all
all these
this.
things.
Yeah.
So,
So that will
so
be part
please,
of
how
your
do you
assignment.
get the connection string again?
Okay. You come to the database where you created it, which is this database, right? Then right click, go to properties. See the properties here. You click on it, then scroll to where you see connection string. This is the connection string. You are interested in the value. This is the value. So you do Control A to copy everything. Then you paste it here within here. Initially, it was like this. Now this is where we want to put the connection string, which is this.
Okay, sir.
Great. Now we have done this. Let's run migration again. I think everything should make sense now. Right. So add migration. User migration. Bam 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 bam. All right, it's loading, it's building. Build succeeded. Build succeeded. All right, so we have this now. We have this. It has created the table. So this is the migration that was created. If you come here, okay. If you come here now, you notice this now. This is a new folder. So for every migration you add, it's going to store there is a name for it, version, the different versions, right? So assuming you have 5 migrations, you've added 5 migrations, you'll be seeing those 5 migrations here. Do we get that?
Yes.
Great. So how this works is, this is the first one. This is the first migration that was created, which is this one. You notice now it has automatically, let me go to our user class now. See now, it has done the, without EF core, we will write this thing manually. We are going to be writing this thing manually. All these are SQL queries. No, we'll do them manually. Not exact like this, but something similar. This is the code, the C# code for it, but we'll be doing something similar in the SQL server, whatever. Right, but EF core, because of that add migration, it automatically, it has done everything for you. Structured, created your table and all your properties. All these are columns. Your ID, which is this ID here. Your email, which is this email here. Now, nullable is false, right? This is telling you that nullable false, it means it's going to be null, right? It's going to be null. So this other one, nullable false means it's not going to be null. Yeah, it's not going to be null. That's the meaning of that. Nullable false, not going to be null. Nullable true, it means there's a possibility that this is going to carry null, right? And that's because of this. Hope we are following.
Yes.
Now, another thing, if in future I add another property called property called
Confirm
maybe
password.
compound, okay, even though that's not necessary, sure. Confirm password, then get set. If in future I do this, for every change you make, you must run migration again, repeat the same flow. If you don't do that, your database will not get this latest change, right?
Yes.
Great. So for every change you make in your model, you must add it to your migrations and update the database. So I have done this, right? I've done this. Now it's expected that since I've added the migration, if I go to my database, it's located inside the tables. If I go to the tables, I would see it. But I'm not seeing anything actually. Normally, it's usually in this table, but I'm not seeing
You have
anything.
not updated database.
Exactly. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. So it doesn't end there. You have added the migration, but you have not updated the database with that current migrations. That's what we need to do. So update database. And when we do that, I think everything should work fine. Yeah, it is updating. All this is updating it for us now. See all this scripting now. Let me expand this. All these are scripts. We would write them manually. We'll be the one to write this manually. You see all this select, all these are SQL script we'll be writing manually. But we are not doing that because EF Core is doing that for us. So, and since we have updated it, if I go back to the database and refresh, let's refresh. Where's refresh? There's no refresh here. Okay, there's refresh. So if I do that, come here, I'll see it now, the users. So this is the user view data. If you want to see the table. So this is what we have now. ID, email, password hash, first name, last name, account name, user status, gender. I can't see confirm password. Why?
Because it not added.
I have not run migration for that. That's
Yes.
why I didn't see it. So this is our database. This is what we see in the real life. Yeah, this is our database. Yep. Hope we are good. So
Yes.
if I create another model project and I run migration, I'll be seeing users. These users now, this S is this stuff we named here. We gave it the name users.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Then this is containing the migration history. The migrations here, it's actually get tracking that migration here. So if you want to view the data, this is it. This is what we have here. Is it? Why is this not showing? Okay. All right. So it's having the first user migration. So if I have 5 migrations, it's the database will keep track of that.
Okay.
Are we following? So it's
Yes.
just for you to test it out, practice, and that's why I said I'm done. Well, I'm already done with the class for today. So you would create your own branch. Now I'm having over 30 changes. So let's see the changes that I made. This bin/debug, I don't need it. I need to ignore this. So I just right click. If it doesn't work, then I ignore it. This, okay. Let me ignore each of them there. Then right click, ignore and on track. That's what I want to do. Same thing for yeah. Anything under obj folder is not relevant. So if you right click, you don't see the ignore, then you have to just manually do that. There's another way, but I just want to show us this way. Let's get used to this one for now. Yeah. Okay, if we right click, it doesn't work. Then do this. Ignore and track. Same thing here. Ignore these local items. Ignore this. All right, same thing with this one. Okay. Ignore and on track. So, right, ignore this. All right, so this is the main files we have. Right, this is the main files we have now. We have the program.cs, which is something we did. Then the program CS approach, you don't need to ignore this, right? Then user.cs is the class we created and did something. Then the migrations is what came when we added migration. Yeah, we need to push this to GitHub and all. Then, so all these are the basic ones. We stage this, stage everything, and give it a name. Stage this, stage all of them, plus the stage. You can always rewatch the video to see how I'm doing it, then give it a name. What the commit message, maybe run migration for user, run migration for user. So once you commit that, if there is nothing else we need to do and you want to push, right? We have committed it, but we have not pushed to GitHub. So committing has to do with sectioning all you have done, like just putting it, sectioning them. So they don't plug in together, they are sectioned, right? So yeah, I have to commit. The first commit had to do with creating the models, while the second commit is run migration. Now I want to push. So I come here and push, and it goes to the GitHub, and we have 0, meaning it has successfully gone to GitHub, and that's how we do it. So what you would do is you create a branch, you pull, there's what we call pull. I've made changes to the master branch, right? For those who have cloned the project, right? For those who have cloned the project, since I've made changes to the master branch, I want to pull, right? I want to pull the change. So I come to git changes. over here you would see different tabs. This one is for sync, this one is for push, this one is for pull. This is what I'm interested in. I want to pull the changes that have been made by another developer. You know, I've pushed to the GitHub. Only me have the current state of the master, but you don't. The only way for you to have that current state is for you to pull from the cloud to your local device. Are we following?
Yes.
So this is how we do it. We click on the pull and it gets the changes to our local system. That's how we do it. So the first thing you need to do when you want to start this task, first pull. After you pull, then you do it. But before you pull, make sure you don't have any commit change or to avoid issues. But you can call me now in case you have any issue. You will share your screen. Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
so what if you have like many changes that you made or many things that you have added to your projects and you have not pushed it? Like you have pushed to
Okay,
Git for the first
okay,
time.
okay. All right, then you would have to commit them. You would commit first. Yeah, you commit the changes you have made. You just commit all of them. To avoid issue for now, commit them. Yeah. But since it's always advised that if you are making any change, this is the master branch. If you are
Yes.
working on a feature, create a branch out from the master branch and work on that feature. You might, I know it's confusing, right? You might
Yeah.
not understand that now. But for now, what you need to do when you clone everything, first thing first, create a branch, do your tags and push. That's what you need to do for now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Marianne Uba.
Okay, sir. So we do not need to clone it again just to pull it because I've cloned it
Yeah,
before.
yeah, you just need to pull. Yes.
Okay, so for the other one, I tried to push it, but it's not working.
You were having the plenty commit changes, be plenty this thing.
I
Oh,
commit
but
and push, but I get an error like that up there that it failed.
Now we can connect now, but you share your screen. No, if you are free by 8, oh, no, I have meeting by 8. Okay, by 9. Are you free by 9?
Mm.
Eh?
We don't have lights, so my system will go off like
Okay,
that.
okay. Whenever you have like, just send message to the channel.
Okay,
Then
but
I
you have
can use
added
my.
my username to.
Yes, yes, yes. I have. Did you send it now or since?
I
No,
sent I sent my yesterday.
yesterday.
I've
Yes, I
added
sent
it
Yeah.
my.
here. I've added them. Yeah,
I thought
I've
I was
added it.
supposed to get a mail, right?
You get a mail now. Haven't you seen the mail?
No, I
No.
not. I not send a mail.
Okay, I'll check it then. I'll check it.
Okay, sir. For the task, like I did not get all the tasks that you say you should do.
All right. So what you need to do, there are 5 models, right? There are 5 models. We have the user domain, we have the project, we have the tax, the to-do tax, we have the comment, and we have, but for this is just, I'm trying to try much as possible to keep it very, very simple. So we'll just work with just 3 models: user, project, and tax. Okay. So what you do as your task is create the project, give it its properties, then run migration for it, create your database. Just watch the video and see how everything is done. But at the end of everything, I want this scenario whereby when I switch to your branch, I should be seeing users for this database context, users, projects, and to do tasks, and you have run your migration. Yeah. Do you understand?
Don't be asking now. Do you understand?
So what are the properties that we are to add there?
Just think of you didn't you do the other, you didn't do, okay, did you, okay, yeah, you didn't do those stuff. Just think of any project now, like project model. What are those possible projects? In this is actually a tax management application. which has a project. So what are those possible properties? Yeah, just a name. Project has a name now, right? Shay, it has deadline, or just think of any property. I just want to see, even if you want to create a project with just one property called name, no wahala. Let me just see how you want to run, how you run the migrations and connect it. Hmm? Are we good?
So another question.
Go ahead.
So do I need to create my own database?
Yes,
Or
yes, yes,
your
sure.
database
This
will
is
also
this
refresh?
no. I'm not. There are two ways. This is my local DB. There are two things. When you are testing or when you are in development phase, you are testing. If you need to create a local DB, what I've done is I created a local DB that is for only me locally, right? So for you, there are two ways. You create it locally or you create a database in the cloud, right? The difference between the local DB and the cloud DB is that for the local DB, it's accessible by only you, while for the cloud is everybody can access it, right?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so you need to create your own local DB. Yes.
But sir, as you're working in a team, is it going to be like everybody using one database, or everybody's still going to have their own database?
Yeah, that is the usefulness of migrations. If
Okay.
everyone has this migration, if there are 5 migrations, your database would get this update and automatically get the latest migrations for this. My own database would get the same stuff. The only difference is the data. My database might have different data than your own database, different data content, but the table will be the same because of these migrations. Yeah, everybody will have the same migration. So far as this migration is there, everybody's database will be up to date. It's just the contents of the database that will be different. Right?
Okay.
Just watch the video. Just try it out
Yeah,
first.
that's
If you are stuck, you reach out to me.
okay.
Yeah. All right. Any question? We have ended. We are meeting tomorrow by 10 p.m. I hope I will not be the only one in the class. So
No, sir.
Then
I foresee he'll be the only one in that class. So
No.
you won't be. I would charge myself.